Every once in a while, during one of my monitor trances, I find myself being guided towards the abnormal. These hallucinations consist of disturbing character descriptions, furries and furless furries burnt into my retinal bitmap, and I do not have a third thing because that is all these types of servers have to offer. Oh, unless you count erotic roleplay. But I did not see any of that since these horn dogs are low-key and not proud of who they are. I always hope I'll walk into an orgy of words. Instead, everybody politely commits their sins in private. Regardless, anytime you see that 18 plus in a server title, you better get ready for a good time. First, I will start with the most terrifying server, which is actually these two Russian servers in the morning. They're taking over. We are fucked. Okay, really it might be Vor Station, but it seems my annual vacation to their eatery has been cancelled. They say I'm underage, so I have to identify myself. Has anyone actually done this? Because why would you? I also got banned on my alternate account just for the content I made. That is not cool of you admins. You know you have to roleplay the ban, right? This is out of character. Not only that, but I thought any exposure was good exposure. What are you guys trying to hide? We all know what goes on in here, so let us watch. Oh well, I already have a video dedicated to Vor Station, and I went back to it another time. Let us check out Citadel. They're basically the same, probably even has the Vor menu. Well, I was banned for metacomming in 2017. Hey man, it gets lonely and frightening playing these kinds of servers. I'm sure you guys yip on voice calls, so let me talk to my friends. That ban was on their normal server, so I went to their RP server. Now, if you do not want me to join your server, all it usually takes is threatening me with having to go through a Discord screening. But this time I at least gave it a try. Alright, here's a server where I'm a fresh face with no history. Damn, when you have to scroll to see all the different types of species, you already know you're stumbling into one fucked up ecosystem. I chose to be a dwarf named Doug Hansen. I picked chef for my job since I figured if I could turn them on to real food then they will stop eating each other. Though I did not offer much variety since I always just throw everything in the deep fryer. The station probably never gets blown up, so who knows how old this grease is in terms of roleplay years. Something else I realized was that I talked like an idiot. I thought it was because of my Italian mustache, but turns out I only speak dwarf. I can also understand these freaks' language. This tool is clearly used for fisting, which is what I used it for on random fist receivers. This one in particular was setting unrealistic pet standards. Your cat will never be 5 feet tall and Asian. These truths got me disarmed and punched with the handy fister. Next, I defended my kitchen from a horde of monsters that can gobble up a man whole. I cannot afford to feed these hungry Jurassic beasts. They can just eat each other. Retaliation came in the form of a face fucker penetrating my mouth. Once I got it off, I dropped it in a hot tub fit for a fast food worker on their last day. After some frying, that alien tasted delicious. My fistful behavior got me placed under arrest. As a manlet, my legs were far too short to even try and outrun the police. I spent the rest of my midget round inside of a cell. My next attempt at finding love I took more seriously. I chose to be a synthetic lizard person, but truly I am broccoli. I also wrote a flavor text. I noticed that most of these dirty bastards start their dating profile out by either stating their height or telling you that they stand before you. I went with a different approach to attract more attention. A horny green giant made of veggies, willing to be dipped in anybody's ranch because I'm a piece of celery. Shove some carrots up my ass while you're down there. Also have a tail for anything your mouth desires. Lastly, my frog legs go on for miles and can be used for pleasure as well. I was also very blunt in my OOC notes. I'm in need of some serious ERP. Looks for sluts and wives. And I say yes to everything, even though I do not know what non-con is. Oh, I see. Spoiler alert, nobody wants to rape this vegetable. I arrive late into the round, which does not matter because I do not know if there are even antagonist roles or not. Usually these sexual brands of servers do not have any conflict, maybe some secret typist quarrels, but that is it. So it was up to me to start some shit. I chose to flirt with this here busty man pretending to be an anime girl. Hey, are you a Twitch streamer? Nope. Damn, you look like one. Hey. You kinda thick, bitch. Pretty sure I don't. My grabby thief hand was then activated. It began with a knife from the kitchen. Eventually my hand was stealing the bartender's job. The staff is too trusting on the station to allow botanists access to the kitchen and bar. These acts of thievery gave me the curse where a mummy will come and visit to nag you every once in a while. If you're gonna be an asshole character, I want nothing to do with you, Chance. Now I'm being attacked out of character, locally. That is personal. I continued to steal from the bar because the bartender was a timid chubby raccoon that was not going to do anything about it. More liquor? Sure, why not? I mean, this cuts out the middleman. His job can be automated, but so could mine, which is why I drink. When going back for thirds, the rodent person was now wielding a baseball bat. He even wrote me a threatening note saying that he would break my kneecaps. This motherfucker never spoke. He only wrote stuff down, making him dumb as a mime. I retweeted the note to the chef since it sort of captures the message I wanted to convey. Later on, I went to the bathroom, yet it was occupied. Nice.
Excuse me. Would you kindly get the fuck out?
Taking a shit? May I watch?
Get the fuck out.
I got a shower.
This fucking swipe won't leave me alone. I'm trying to take a shit.
He has all this weird sexual detail, but did not want me to watch him take a shit. I figured he would write a fantastic shitting paragraph since his flavorful information was so well organized. I got on the radio to shout about a man that had locked himself in the bathroom to masturbate. This of course excited everybody and caused a crowd to assemble. Majority of the people left when they found out the man was just taking a shit. A couple of them stayed though. I did not want to leave the shitting lizard alone. His tulip bodyguard shot at me, and I shot back because earlier I stole a miniature energy gun. Afterwards, I acquired my final steal of the shift, the knee remover. My last hurrah was jumping out of an airlock while firing my laser gun, because I see the emergency shuttle like that Las Vegas adage you can use for anything, since I get an anxious feeling in my gut to use up all of my weapons whenever that rocket gets going. I was banned for partying too hard. The reason they don't want people fucking around at the end is because of heavy roleplay. They want their characters to survive for 100 rounds until they die of old age. Some furry tried to get me back in. Then his scaly admin buddy said he would ask the host, but he said no. Didn't even get to go out with a bang. These bans happen so unexpectedly. Oh well, on to the next one. Is this a renamed Bad Deathclaw or their illegitimate child? I do not know. While this next server can be enjoyable sometimes as a long deathmatch with talking breaks, as far as trying to get a story out of it, I'm always worried I'll get verbally raped if I interact with the wrong person. Plus I think sex is programmed in, so I either have to log out or sit through the crude humps. This is also one of the servers that lets you have it all. They're very in your face with the erotic roleplay. However, at the same time, players are not fucking out in the open. In this story, I am the Great Khan, known as Glenn Roth. I was a part of a gang with only one other member. We were trapped inside of a cave city, so I took it upon myself to shoot out an exit. On the other side, I saw bright lights and some stranger like everybody getting the afterlife wrong. While in heaven, my faction buddies started stealing, and this upset God. He also incited a shootout. Standoff pauses increased the tension of the situation. Bullets flew in from off screen. The firing pattern on display made me believe there was a booby trap taking its shot at us for messing with this holy temple. We mimicked the indoor shooting and began opening fire on the building. I was getting shot. I truly thought I was being gunned down by a smart house when I remembered that we were in a shootout with a person, which takes up less square space and is easier to kill. Our enemy ran away, but a new one was created for both me and my acquaintance when the sneaky ass biter tried to betray me. Thankfully, I surprised him with more bullets than the first human targets to experience automatic weaponry. Then the hunt was on for that cocksucker that drove a wedge between the Great Khans. I found my problem in a room clutching a knife. In my clutches was a gun, so I won this round. My next meat package is a settler named Ronald Easter. I spawned in a devious town. This place ruins innocent people. The settlement's town hall might as well be this gun store since it is the most important establishment here. That is all you really need to know about the town. Anyways, I began my day by adopting a Brahmin. We left the settlement together in order to start a caravan. While on a trade route, we ran into a robot that is too lazy to work. Instead, it uses its energy to rebel and kill all humans. I was too slow dragging around my tan cow. I had no choice but to leave him behind so that I could survive. The homicide parade float followed me back to my home. I bunkered up in the gun store and the hate for flesh was transferred to someone else. The local blue-haired tough guy stepped outside and shot the machine, thus saving us all. This fellow bro trying to bust a nut and take a piss was the victim. That same whore was the town doctor. After getting healed by him, I stole the dude's pipe and went mining. In the dark, I got stung by a vicious rad scorpion, but at least I found a crown. Then I got another rubdown from the big titty nurse. I left the cul-de-sac again with guns this time, and I finally met a person I did not want to shoot, since he had a modest character description that was not filled with self-dick suck. Later, I discovered an underground zoo that's only attraction was angry ghouls inside of flimsy cages. Once those fragile bars broke, the animal sanctuary rebranded into a reverse petting zoo where the guests get petted by the ghouls. This was a lawsuit waiting to happen, but instead of finding a lawyer, I found the latter. I then went home bleeding like I didn't have insurance. Well, I didn't have any insurance. I don't think anybody does. But at least that hoe who claimed to be a doctor was around. My health was unimportant to me. I live day by day, and eating bar food is the only way I'll survive today. Of course I can't just sit around and feast. I have to sharpen these survival skills in the sewers. While surviving, I ran into more ghouls. I freed them up for shooting a killer montage. My NPC removal spree was ended by a wimpy poisonous sting from a bug. Overall, Desert Rose is okay if you can look past the ERP. I've always sort of enjoyed the Fallout Space Station servers. My favorite one was called Outcast because it had pretty much everything this server has minus the horniness. I've had enough of this cutesy shit. I want to summon Satan. The creators of this server are still trying to come up with a name for it, so I'll help them out by calling it Sliced Bread since it's the best thing. You get to pick your vice. I wanted to be eccentric, so I chose necrophilia, but I figured that was too gross, which is why I chose sexaholic. Then I realized it would probably be easier to find dead bodies versus alive ones, thus being a necro was my final decision. I got a job with a briefcase so I could stash my skull-shaped fleshlights in it. Then I witnessed the smoothest transition from stationary to movement in a vehicle I've ever seen in the Beyond engine. No flash of black or screen spasms, though the ride itself was still very choppy. And that concludes my review of this train. When I arrived at my destination, I saw a bunch of guys with swords battling a piece of umbilical cord flavored Laffy Taffy, and it was obvious they were currently losing the fight. Regrettably, I didn't get to see the conclusion since I fell off this platform with no railing. My legs were broken. I laid in the dirt as that demonic tree relieved me of my pain. I'll end this mess with a quick look at my other pitiful deaths. Here I am as a fat bum throwing my shit at what I assume is a guard. He beat me good. I don't know if I accidentally fell here or if I did on purpose, because this is the exact same spot where I already fell. And then finally the ground ate me. Sliced bread is unforgiving.